everyone. Thanks for tuning in to our podcast, In the Woods, with your hosts, Mary Woods.
And Deborah Woods.
And clearly you can see we're in the woods. So
here we are.
We have a great episode coming up for you. Make sure you subscribe and like us.
And also, if you'd like to find out more about our work, you can visit us at our website, miraclesmadecoaching.com.
Drop a comment or anything and reach out. We would love to hear from you.
Enjoy the episode. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, In the Woods, where we discover the secrets to building strong families. We are your hosts, the Woods Sisters. I'm Deborah.
And I'm Mary.
And we are also the founders of a family coaching business called Miracles Made. You can find more out about us at our website at miraclesmadecoaching.com, or you can find us on Instagram or Facebook, Miracles Made Coaching.
So today we have a very special guest, Shalonda Allison. We're so excited for her to be here with us today. She's got lots and lots of things going on. So I just want to tell you a little bit about her and her background and leading up to what we'll discuss for today. So Shalonda Allison is a licensed therapist, transformational coach, business owner, course creator, and author from the Hoosier state of Indiana. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Psychology, a master's degree in mental health counseling, and a transformational coaching certification. She is the founder and CEO of Guiding Light Therapy Center, Guiding Light Therapy Services, and Lighthouse Connection and Consulting. She is the mother of one adult son and 2 grand dogs whom she adores. Shalonda enjoys time with her family, friends, music, concerts, and traveling. So we have a very special person with us today that we are proud to dive into all of this that she has done, is doing, and continues to do to serve her people.
So thank you.
You're welcome. So
you make me sound so much better than I really am.
No, you're awesome. You're awesome.
So maybe you could just start by telling us a little bit of the difference between the therapy versus the coaching for us.
Yeah, sure. So I started Guiding Light Therapy Center. Honestly, I have a contract with the state of Indiana with Department of Child Services. So children who are removed from their parents and like placed in foster care. I have a contract with the state, and so I have a small staff, and we do like supervised visits, parent coaching. I do therapy. We do home-based case management, and so I got that through the state. And then I started doing private practice up under that, and then kind of moved it to Guiding Light Therapy Services. And so I do private practice with all kind of people. And then Lighthouse Connection coaching. I wanted to get into some coaching because under therapy, I can only operate under my license, which is in Indiana. So I'm only tied to people in Indiana with therapy. So like now there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to come to you from therapy. I'm like, I can't do it if you're not in Indiana because our licensure isn't portable. So the coaching allows me the opportunity to still work with people outside of here. And so like therapy, I focus on like, it focuses more like on the past and like trauma and things like that. And coaching is more, present and future focused. And so there are some people that say they need therapy, but really they just need coaching actually, because they want to focus on their goals and stuff that they're trying to achieve now versus stuff that is affecting them from their past. And if I'm honest, there are times in coaching where I have to say, we might need to pause and you need to go do therapy because there's a lot of trauma that is affecting them and they can't even focus on the goals because of the trauma.
Yeah, they have to get some things straight before they can really take advantage of the coaching.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you think there is an experience that you've had like along your life's journey that could, I guess that you could talk to us about, like a meaningful experience that you've had?
A meaningful experience I had. Yeah. I mean, like, I'll be honest. All these little things that we used to hear, like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like everybody knows that. And it's like, yeah. But it's like, it's so true. Like you start to realize even as a parent, as a therapist, as a coach, we can lead people, but We can't make them do anything. And sometimes that's disappointing, as a mom. It could be disappointing as a spouse, as a friend. It could be disappointing, as a coach, as a therapist. It's like we
Mhm.
put all our time and energy and effort into, if you really are passionate about it and believe in it. And so one thing for me, is just understanding, like, you could do your part, but everybody else has to do their part. And it goes for me too, right? So I go to therapy. I have a coach, but they can't make me do anything. They can do their part. I have to do my part. And along with that, like, clarity is something that has stood out to me. Like, being clear is so powerful, and I think we take it for granted. Getting clear on our direction, our purpose, why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing, who we're supposed to work with. Because when I started therapy, I would just take anybody, right?
Mm,
Like, oh, I can cover everything. But then I start realizing that's not really my thing. And there's somebody probably more qualified to help you with substance abuse than me. Yes, I studied it because I had to, but it's not my thing, right? So
yeah.
getting clear, has really helped me. And then I have Release to Connect in my book. And with that being said, it's like, if you're going to release, and if you want to connect, you have to release. So I had to learn, like, sometimes you got to let some stuff go. And being a parent, specifically when your children make that journey into adulthood, you don't have the control anymore. So you have to release some of that stuff if you still want to have a connection. And then lastly, I mean, I just learned, like, it's not about them, it's about you. So a lot of times, even when I'm doing couples therapy, couples coaching, it's always about the other person, right? Well, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. This is how they respond. And I'm like, even with parenting, it's my adult child. They're so entitled. No, no, no. It's not about them. It's about you. And so if
Mhm.
we focus on the one thing you have control over, which is you, we don't have control over anybody else. So
Mhm.
those are just some things that have really stood out to me just on my journey in life, in parenting, in therapy, and in coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you do some work with parents who have adult children and you're Release and Connect. So I'd love to get into Release and Connect in a few minutes. But first, I just want to talk about some adult parents of adult children. Are there some common disappointments or challenges that you've come across in your coaching with parents who are now at the phase of their children being adults?
Yeah, yeah. That's a good question. There's like such a span there, right? So there's some people who were disappointed because, like, my kid didn't finish college. And I was disappointed because I'm like, you went on a presidential scholarship, like, and you're playing basketball, and like, what do you mean you don't want to do it anymore? So for me, that was major disappointment and letdown
Yeah.
because he went to private school his whole life, straight A student, so that was disappointing for me. But if you compare me to some other parents I work with, their children are incarcerated, they're on drugs, they're estranged, don't talk to them at all. They have grandchildren, won't let them see their grandchildren. So there's such a spectrum of parenting adult children. But
Yes.
a couple of things that stand out for everybody is entitlement. I hear it all the time. Um,
Mhm.
Enabling, which is
Mhm.
which leads to entitlement, and then some communication. Right? People tend to feel like they're walking on eggshells with their adult children because they don't want to upset them, and if I say the wrong thing, and then they're not going to talk to me. And so these are some real common themes with parents: entitlement, enabling, communication, walking
Yeah.
on eggshells. Yeah.
I'm taking it in as
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
as we
Yeah.
spoke about for my older adult, yeah,
And it's really
really good.
interesting that even just naming those things, you have really centered the parent in that struggle or in that challenge, because so often we're focused on the other person
Mhm.
when there's a challenge. So even in I really appreciate that even in naming some of those common challenges, you really centered the parent, and what they how they can do it, or how their part in it.
Because how many of us have heard these kids nowadays? They are so entitled.
Oh,
They
wow.
feel like that, and we don't realize their entitlement because that's basically just the habit of things coming easy and them not connecting the principle of work to reward. But the reason they don't connect the principle of work to reward is because we have done a lot of enabling. And we didn't do it to be wrong or, to hurt them or anything like that. We want them to have everything, because we want them to have better than what we had, and better schools and better homes and neighborhoods and friends. And if they're good kids, Lord forbid, because my kid, he's a good kid. So I
Right.
had every reason to do all the things I was doing because he wouldn't cause me any problems. And when we enable them, we do for them what they can do for themselves. And
Right.
so that carries on into teens, and
Yeah.
then it carries on to young adulthood, then it carries on to adulthood. So
Yeah.
now we're saying, well, they feel entitled, and they just want me to keep doing this and doing that, and I'm not going to keep doing all of this. And it's like we kind of set that up.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
you're right. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother conversation, right? Where we can't see the difference sometimes between enabling and love. We
Yep.
we
And
think it's
healthy.
love. We think it's
We think it's healthy because our heart and our intent is to help, right? It's not to enable. If you said, "Oh, do you want to enable your child?" Oh, of course not. But if I said,
right.
do you want to help your child?" Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I want to help my child. And so
Yeah.
there's this thin line of helping. Helping is helping somebody do something they can't do.
Hmm.
Enabling is doing something for somebody they can do. And
Right.
Mhm.
so we get it really mixed up.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you for that. Let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your journal. You mentioned the release and the connect. I just
Hmm.
wanted to dive into that a little bit. If you could give an example on how can somebody release and connect? Um,
Yeah.
What does it mean, and how
yeah,
can they do it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So release, I came up with that acronym because I'm like, you know what? We think we have control, and a lot of our problem is we don't know how to make that shift because we were like the boss for so long. We were the CEO, and we are no longer the CEO. And so it's like, wait, what happened? What do I do now? Like, how do I even relate to you? And it's like you have to release that if you want to have a connection. So release is an acronym, and it's basically you have to be ready first. You have to be ready, because if you're not ready, we can forget all the rest of it. You have to be ready. You have to have some expectancy. You have to get liberated, set free from some things. You have to get equipped with some skills. You have to make some adjustments. You have to build your self-confidence, and then you'll be empowered. And so I take them through this in the journal. We start with ready. How do you know you're ready? Tell me how you know you're ready. And
mm,
so the way the journal is set up, it's like affirmations are first. And so it's a guided journal because I didn't want just a journal where people are just writing, although I have pages for that. I wanted to kind of give them something to go off of. And so if there's an affirmation, then I want them to tell how that speaks to them. And I want them to be practicing those affirmations as a parent. And then it takes them into, I don't know if it goes right into the release, but then I have like tips and tools for parents of adult children. I also have 10 things that your adult children need to hear you say. And then I have the release and the connect method.
that's
And so
good.
connect is the same thing. It's a whole acronym. If you want to connect with them, you're going to have some open communication, some optimism. You have to nourish the relationship. You have to learn to navigate the relationship. You have to give some effort. You have to have some cooperation, and then you'll have transformation. And
Mm,
so each one just kind of each page takes them on that journey of how to do that and slowly begin to let go and connect. Let me be clear, ideally is to connect with your adult children, but it could be connecting with yourself, your hopes, your dreams, your vision, the stuff you've lost because parenting was everything. And now that they're grown, you don't even know who you are anymore. You're like, I don't even know what I want. I don't even know what to do. I don't. And it's like, you might need to connect with yourself again. And so it's taking you through a whole process of that because it's not about them anymore. We've laid that foundation, and we need to kind of shift the focus to ourselves at this point.
Mhm. It sounds like there's a lot of things that parents can be doing to
yeah.
get into, to have a peaceful relationship, a joyful relationship with their adult children. So I really appreciate that there's a lot of steps that parents can be taking. It's not
Mhm.
just like, what do I do? I don't know, right? So
Yeah.
there's definitely work that can be happening. So I
Mhm.
really appreciate
Yeah,
that
concrete things
concrete
that
things. Yeah,
parents can
Yeah,
apply.
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So when we think about getting ready, so if we have a parent who's watching who has adult child, the first thing we have to do is get ready, right? Is there one like skill or thought or something that parents should do just to start to get ready?
First, they have to identify if they are ready. And how do they know if they're ready? It's like you probably thought you were before, and it's like it really didn't happen. You know, the whole thing, you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's like you get to this point where you're like, you know what, no more, because I don't like the way this is making me feel. It's consuming me. I'm constantly looking at their social media. I'm like, I'm just so caught up in their world, and it's consuming me. So first you have to identify, how do I know that I'm ready? And what's my why behind this? Like, why is this important that I'm ready right now? Because your why is going to take you further than your will. So we can think our will is like if we will ourselves, but no, your why is what's really going to take you. So it's like the readiness is trying to figure out, what is my why? Why am I ready right now? What is going on right now that lets me know I need to make a shift? It's time for me to make a shift. So the first thing they need to do is know their why. Like, are
Mhm.
you ready? And why are you ready? You know, what does that mean? What does that look like that you're ready?
Right.
And so the why is very important because it's the guiding force for everything else.
Right. So that you can continue to be ready. So you can continue to take steps towards a difference. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you've given us so much already.
Yes.
So much. We're so thankful.
It's
Yeah.
a lot.
That journal, right, for your adult child.
I am.
Look.
Ew. I need to start
It's a lot, you
hold
guys.
it again. Hold that thing up
Yes,
again.
I mean, and it's a lot. Like parents of adult children, they don't prepare you for this. We learn about what to expect when expecting, the terrible twos, oh, those teenage years. But not very many people prepare you for parenting adult children
So
because
true.
there's this idea that once they're an adult, they're on their own. And it's
Hmm.
like, no, that's not how this works. You
Yeah.
still have a relationship, you still want
Exactly.
a connection with your adult children.
Yeah.
And like for me, I only have one. So if I don't have a relationship with the one, and
Yeah.
so one of the things that I do want to say before we go is that parents, you need to shift your role from CEO to consultant, and you want to be a coach, right? You want to do coaching at this point, which is just asking provoking questions, versus, well, what you need to do is, well, I told you what you should have done, you know, and it's like, no, 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 we don't want to do that. We want to like not give our opinion, give our perspective, because when we start to give our opinion and we give unsolicited advice, it doesn't go over well. So like I say all the time, like, don't come for me unless I send for you. That's what they're saying to us. Like, if I didn't ask you for it, please don't give it. Now, when they ask, oh, then it's like, oh, now you want me to give it to you. But it's like, if they didn't come for us, don't even do it, because now, of course, unless there's like something dangerous going on and you have to intervene, you know, but other than that, don't do it. And then also, I say, put some respect on their name, right? Because they are adults and we have to put some respect on their name. Back off a little bit, and your motto is, I love you no matter what, and even if, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't mean I agree, might not even mean I support, but I love you no matter what, and even if. And if I'm giving you my perspective, not my opinion, then I might say, well, you know, I'm not sure what you should do. I'm really not. I don't know what's best for you. But in my experience, and then you're putting it on you and what
Mhm.
your experience was versus saying, you really need to stop because I told you to leave them alone and I told you not to hang out with them and I told you it doesn't go well.
Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
telling again, telling. You're
Mhm.
talking at them, you're still talking at them, and they are grown.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, and as I was listening to you, I was thinking about the false belief, like, we did our part, we raised them, I
Mhm,
raised them. They're grown, but it's an ever-evolving relationship
mhm,
regardless, and we're
Mhm.
so thankful that people can hear these tools now and that they can get a refresher, that they can get new hope, that they can have joy with their adult children if there was disappointment, if
mhm.
there is disappointment. It doesn't have to be that way any longer.
Mhm.
You know what
Yeah.
I get asked all the time is, when are you going to write something for the adult children that have disappointment with their parents? And I'm like, you know,
Oh boy.
I get that.
Oh
I'm like,
boy.
listen, I get it, and I totally understand, and that is a whole nother thing. right now, my focus was just to support the parents because at this stage, sometimes it's just like, where do I turn to now? And my parents are 73 and 76, and I still go to them for things. So,
Yeah.
we can't expect that now that they're an adult, it's over. Like, no, they're going to still need us. They're going to need our help. And it's nothing wrong with helping them. I don't want to send the wrong message that you can't help. You don't want to enable, right?
Mhm.
Right.
You can help, just don't enable.
Right.
And
Mhm.
make sure when you're communicating that you understand it's two ways. They get to communicate back to you, even if it's about you. Even if it's about you, let them
Mhm.
have their moment to have a safe, open, and honest conversation, even if it's about you, because that's hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, oh, go ahead. You want to
Oh,
say?
oh no, go for it.
No, I was just
I was just
thinking.
gonna say, wow.
No, I was just thinking, when you mentioned what you've overcome, the disappointment with your son, and you're in such a better place now. How did you do it? How did you do it? Because
That's a
you
great
can
question.
coach somebody else, right? You can have therapy with
Oh my
somebody else,
gosh. Isn't
but
that the
how did
truth?
you do it as the parent?
It took a moment. I think one day I realized, am I being am I loving conditionally? Because why is this bothering me so? That's not unconditional love, that because he didn't finish college, that I'm just so distraught. Like, it really shook me. I
Yeah.
mean, because I'm educated. You've watched me go through all my schooling and this and that, and you've gone all through all of yours, and it shook me. And so honestly, I had to take a moment. And I'm like, my relationship with him is more important than my hurt and disappointment of him not finishing college. And
Mm,
honestly, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have pressed college the way I did anyway, because I
mm,
understand you don't have to go to college, but that was what was put into me. You go to college, you go to high school, and you go to college, and this is what you do. And you're an African American young man, and you need to go to college because you're going to already have this and that. So it was like, this is what I was pushing. And he just one day decided, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, what? After all the sacrifice as a single mom, putting you through private school your entire life, AAU basketball and all the traveling, it just takes you back for a moment. And I had to sit in it. I had to sit in it so much so that I was starting this process, and I had to stop this process for a while because I wasn't ready, because I had to do the work on me. So I
mm,
wasn't ready to tell people, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, until I took my own self through it. I took my own self through the journal. I took my
Mhm.
own self through the journal, and I still write in it.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
still write in it because they're grown, and all their decisions may not be what we think they should do, but it's their life. And when I made up Guiding Light, it was with the lighthouse, and so it's Lighthouse Connection, because I understood lighthouses don't force anything. They're there to guide people. They shine a light to ships that are out in troubled water,
Yes.
and they shine their light to help guide them to shore. And I'm here to shine a light, to guide my clients, to guide my son, to guide my friends, my family. I'm just a guide, I'm just a light. And they have to decide to do the work to get back to where they need to go. And I can't take personal if they don't. It might hurt, but hey, and he's gone on. I mean, he works, he's doing fine. But it was like, no college education, well, the nerve of you, so I had to go through the process, and I had to sit in it, and I had
Yeah.
to do it in therapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
As well.
important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good.
So important. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for this rich conversation, Shalonda.
You're
Thank you so
very
much.
welcome.
But
Thank
I
you
want people
for
to
having me.
be able to find you also, if they hear this and they want to connect with you. Can
Mhm.
you just let us know the best way to reach you?
Sure. So my website is Guiding Light TC, which just stands for therapycenter.org. And that website has my therapy and my coaching on there. So it's guidinglighttc.org. And then I'm on Facebook. I think Shalonda Allison. I'm on Instagram, Shalonda Allison, which is crazy, but Shalonda Allison S Allison 21. I'm on LinkedIn, Shalonda Allison. You're not getting my Snapchat, but but no. So that's how everybody can find me: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, my website. Yeah, and I would love to be of any help to anybody if they just want to have a consultation, ask some questions. I would love to help them. They can schedule like a free consultation on my website.
Great.
Great.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much. This was amazing. So definitely give me some food for thought for, down the line when I
Mhm.
have my adult children.
Mhm.
So thank you so much. And I can't wait to the next time we get to be able to connect.
Yes, thank you, ladies. This was awesome. Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.